Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is James from Prague, and welcome to SoulCARE on November the 3rd, day before Election Day in the United States. Very interesting day, and I hope you're all doing very, very well. Wanted to catch up with you. It's an amazing time we're living in, isn't it? And I just want everyone to know that you just keep your minds open and see what happens around you. A friend of mine said this morning as I was doing yoga this morning, which I love. I really love yoga with Dana Damara. She's a friend of mine who does meditations on our Friday evenings that we do. And she's also an incredible yoga instructor. And she's been working with me, and we do chanting. And she's such an incredible alchemist of all things spiritual. And we work on that. She said to me, and several people actually this morning said to me, you know, it's very interesting how a lot of the darkness is coming up now, a lot of things to be looked at. And it's true, if things come to the surface to be healed, they have to come to the surface to be healed. They have to be recognized, first of all, and appear. And I know Neptune retrograde, also Neptune hides things, and the retrograde tends to bring things to the surface. So, and all the astrological aspects right now, including Jupiter, and some of you probably know more about this than I do, but I know that there's certain aspects where the hidden is being shown. And it's really in divine order. Even though it appears chaotic sometimes, things do appear chaotic. I always step back and look at the bigger picture. And I always know that there's a cleansing going on, there's transformation happening this time. So it's also because we had the full moon the other day. It's a time, and full moon in Taurus, and we're in Scorpio, which is a very spiritual sign, and it's a very transformative sign, Scorpio, the most transformational sign we have. So with that Taurus, which is a physical thing, it's a good time for physical healings to begin and physical transformation. So I've begun with, once again, my apple cider vinegar and water, which is very good for the pH of the body. So there you go. I'm working out and cleansing the space around you and so forth. A good time to do all that. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to open up the comments page. Oh, here we go. Mercedes, hello. Kim Mosley. I know Kim Mosley from my childhood. Is the same Kim Mosley? Lisa Hogan, Vero, Chris Tuck, Mary. Hello, beautiful souls. Fatima. Thank you. A lot of people ask me about the writers' workshop. They've been asking me this week or last week because they want to know when it's closing. And the writers' workshop, Awaken the Writer Within, which is my 3rd year of doing this, it'll be closed on Wednesday, November 4th. So that we're closing it. After that, it's not available. So registration closed November the 4th. And if you want to sign up for the Awaken the Writer Within and find out more about what the course is about, you can go to my school, which is jnpschoolmysticalarts.com. And it's a really great course for those who want to write a book or want to write something creative, a poetry, a journal, different things come out when we start opening up creatively. So there's the address right there. And I mentioned last week I've had several books being published from my students, and really, really great. And the majority of them say, wow, I didn't realize the whole other aspect of myself during this creative period. So it's a great time to do that. Great time right now to do that. I'm going to write a book, I think, also a long time, the same time as a course. So I'm going to join all of you in doing that. So that's Writer Within, that closes November 4th. So Scorpio, that's me. Yes, Scorpio. I love Scorpio. Scorpio is a bad rap. I think if you know, the Scorpio is the most intense sign of the zodiac, because every sign has positive traits and negative traits, and Scorpio has all the positive traits of every other sign and their own, all the negative traits of every other sign and their own. So Scorpio is a very intense sign. I think it's a natural detective sign. It rules mediumship. It rules the unknown. It rules the underneath. It rules criminal work, the detective work, police work, cemeteries. It's the unknown. That's Scorpio. So natural detectives. And Scorpios are very good. William probably know this. Very good. They're very good at giving out their own. They're very good at finding out information from somebody else and really can read them, if you will. But they're not very good at giving out their own stuff because Scorpios tend to be very private people, very private, hidden. They tend to be hidden. Um, I love Scorpios. I've met many different types of Scorpios from the lowest type of Scorpio, which is a jealous, possessive, and this sort of thing, controlling, or the very highly minded, spiritually minded Scorpio, which is the healers and light workers. I met the in between too. So, and it's all about transformation, Scorpio. Okay. Hello, Karen and Scorpio. My birthday's October 31st. Happy birthday, Sheila. Does anyone know when COVID is going away? I don't know. I get a sense though next spring, around May, next year, around spring, there'll be something that lightens up with it. It's my feeling. Something will occur that lightens it up or changes it. I feel like next May. That's my feeling on that. Okay, Scorpio, Capricorn, Gemini, Sarah, hi. Hi from New Jersey. How are you doing? I know the cold weather is hitting across the country, so make sure you stay warm. Good time to take care of yourself, nurture yourself, right? Teresa, hello, Portuguese Gemini in London. Okay. Tudo bem. Very good. The Chicago area. Who's the best suited with Scorpio? Well, that's a good question because it's not just one sign because there are many aspects to your chart. But Scorpio usually could be very good with Taurus. Taurus, which is so right now we have a Taurus moon in Scorpio. It's interesting. So Taurus and Scorpio tend to get along, but there are other aspects of the chart you have to look at too. So this is very interesting that your sun sign usually will be very connected with the sun sign of one partner may be very connected with the moon sign of the other partner because the moon is the emotions. So there's a good aspect there with those two. I have found that I work really well with moon and Libra people. My moon is a Sagittarius, and that's a fire sign. And moon Libra is an air sign. So air and fire, the best combination there is. So I tend to always have good friends with moon and Libra or connections or partnerships. So here I am for you if you have answered questions. People have asked about the psychic readings that I do, which because of all of you, SoulCARE, you suggested I do that. So this Friday is November the 6th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be doing an evening of psychic messages, psychic readings for people in the site. So that's on thevanprog.com. If you want to do that, right there's a connection. That's this Friday. And Dana is going to be Dana tomorrow will lead us in meditation again because it's just so great to have her meditate with us and puts us in that space to receive. And a lot of people might be nervous when they have a psychic reading, but they're not sure what they want to know. And the meditative process really alleviates the stress and the mental fatigue and puts you in a nice equal space. And also, I think we're going to work on this weekend. This weekend is definitely Friday and Saturday, by the way, because Saturday we're doing a workshop at the Omega Institute online. But we work on through the meditation. I just want to. We're going to work on psychic abilities in that. Not only will you be asking me about it, but I want you to also start getting signs yourself, getting feelings yourself, using your own intuition. So we'll start that on Friday with the meditation with Dana, and throughout the evening we're going to work on tuning into that psychic ability. So in between readings, perhaps I'll be giving you exercises to do, and that'll be fun to do it that way. And also see what you can get for a person that's asking a question, and see if you got what I got. So that'll be this Friday if you want to do that. That'll be this Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Okay, good. Best friends are both Scorpios. Yeah, well, so you probably have your moon in Scorpio, Rachel. I what that means. Good morning from Australia. How are you? Good day, as they say. Good day. Hello from me. Hello. That's Dana, the great meditation. She's the best. I mean, I just found Dana about 3 months ago as a yoga instructor, and she has incredible meditations. She also does oil and essential oil work, and she does. She's going to, and she's done shaman work before, but she's going to really get into it. And I'm going to support her for that. I support her in that work of she got a drum, and when you're a healer, it's interesting because you can heal on different levels and many different aspects, and she's one of those. Similar to myself, actually. When I was a younger man, probably 20 years old, I went to a psychic. Didn't know if I believed it, but went to a psychic, and they said to me, there was a lady out in Southern California. She was out in Ontario, California, and I saw her on television. She was on a cable network show then, and I remember she was talking about it, and I found it fascinating. Oh, she's in California. I'm going to check her out, see what that's about. I went to see her at her house out in Ontario, California, and she sat down. She started tuning into me using a Ouija board. Now, she only used a Ouija board to tune her in because it's just another symbol, so it's no way of tuning in. Just like a crystal or holding this an object of someone's psychometry or looking at an astrology chart also as a way of tuning in psychically. So she tuned into me and she said one thing which really stood out. She said, and this is before I did anything psychically, before I do anything in this work. And she looked at me as she was tuning. She said, well, James, I got to tell you something. You're a soul that they don't make schools for you. I wish they would, but there's so many different talents that there are no schools for people like you because you could do artwork, you could do design, you could do psychic work, you could do writing work, you could do counseling work. And she was right, and very, very true. And that's very, very much, that's it. I think there's from many, many lifetimes of working in this world, in the spiritual world, and different lifetimes doing many different things. And same with Dana, she's the same way. And the moment we met each other, it was like this connection, like both alchemists. And it's interesting. We just met, but we've known each other many lifetimes. We did a chant this morning, and it was all in Sanskrit. And she said it first. I'm able to do a chant on Friday too. We'll have I asked her to do a chant for the meditation too. It's so cool. And we're doing it, and I recognize it. So I'm following her words because I've heard it before. But she's saying this chant and reciting it, like I said it very easily. I was like, well, I feel like I've done this before. So I knew that I've had a past life using this work before, no doubt about it. And whether it doesn't matter what language it is, it's the intention behind all the words, no matter what religion it is, it's always the intention of the thought. It's always the intention of the words, which is in this chant, it was peace to all and love to all. May you find the divine within yourself and the divine within each other. That's what we want. So putting that out into the ether is a good thing. Yeah, that's what we can do. Anyway, I'm going on. So let me answer some of your questions here. Hi, Allison Taylor. You love my Shelley, but it's love my passion helping others to heal. Yeah, that's what it's for me. That's what it's about. That's all what it's about because I don't know when you're a part of something beautiful and you're aware of something beautiful and that you're aware that love is beyond physical human comprehension, that there's something there, but that each person has it within them and they don't know it. You really want to strive to help them to see their truth, to see who they are. And we get so limited with what we're taught and what we're programmed to believe when we're kids that I just wish we could just, and I think it'll happen, that generations will change, that I do believe it'll happen. I really, really do. Even though it appears sometimes like we're going backwards, I do believe spiritually we're going forwards. And I think we have to deal with the stuff which is dark, heavy, to let it go. So we got to recognize it to let it go. So keep your heads up high. Can my deceased son keep an eye on his brothers and help stay on a good path? Yes, you don't even need to ask that because your son will do that. That's what they do over there in the spirit side. They become, especially when children pass over, many times they'll be guides to the family. And many times, sweetheart, many, many times, this is agreed upon before the incarnation. So in the soul group comes together before the incarnation, many times one of the souls will choose to leave early as a child, perhaps teach a lesson to the parents and the family about what, forgiveness or letting go or grief or whatever it might be. And also that soul needs to help the spirit, the family from the other side of life. There's so much help from us over there. The strings that they pull, it's beyond belief, but they make things happen. They assist us in our highest good. So when someone passes over, don't think they're gone. They're very much so attached to your family, especially children. Yeah. So no worries about that. So I always like to think things if we only know or really know within us and be aware that there's life continues on and love is all around us and not go to the negative, that'd be the best thing. Aaron Bryant, what were your struggles and how did you overcome them in regards to promoting yourself and your psychic abilities in the beginning? Aaron Bryant. Well, Aaron, remember I did this back in the early 90s, late 80s. So for me, no one was out there except it was George Anderson in Long Island, who was known as a medium. First, I guess, publicly, but limited because he wrote a book, We Don't Die, but he was known. And then I was out there really before John Edward, before Sylvia Brown, before any of those other people. And I was on a TV show called The Other Side. I didn't promote myself. I didn't go out to do this to be known publicly. I did not. I really came to Los Angeles to be a sitcom writer because I'm funny, so I thought I'd do that. And it worked out that I ended up in all these different jobs, temp jobs. And it was one day when this supervisor of mine asked me if I wanted to see a medium. I said, okay. And I did. Went to this medium, and he predicted I'd be doing this in 2 years, and he was right. I didn't pursue it, but I read as much as I could on psychic phenomena, life after death, out of body experiences, mediumship, the other side. So I read so many books, and then I started meditating, and I just meditated to really visualize my future about being a well-known producer, or having a script made, which eventually, of course, happened. Ghost Whisperer and other shows, but that's really what my intention was just to do that. I didn't want to be a medium. I didn't want to do this work. I didn't think it was possible. Not that I didn't believe it, but it was way beyond me. And then it was through that experience of meditation, after many months, if you will, or a year, that I started seeing this spirit in the spirit world with a lady from work. I was working at Paramount Studios, and my coworker came into a cubicle, and behind her was her grandmother, and she looked right at me, the dead grandmother, and she started telling me things telepathically, and they made sense to my coworker, and that was the beginning. I ended up going back to this medium that started me off and telling him about it, and he took me under his wing really to help me develop and progress. And that was really the beginning. I didn't really I didn't go out going public promoting myself. It was all word of mouth, and I was busy probably 3, 4 months at a time, booked up. No one knew me. It was all just word of mouth. I didn't advertise for years. I never advertised, and it was all just totally word of mouth. And then I would do these demonstrations every month in my apartment, and I had about 25, 30 people in my apartment. I squeezed them in, and we do a 2 or 3 hour demonstration. And that was the very beginning. Then I went to a hotel and did them once a month, and it was all word of mouth. And then eventually a producer from Unsolved Mysteries came, and we became good friends, and they got me on that. They were put me on the show, and NBC, someone from NBC came to see me, and they went to a show about the other side. And once that started, I guess you say the ball started rolling. But I didn't go out and promote myself like that. That wasn't until books came out, and then I started getting a publicist. But otherwise, I didn't really. The spirit world took care of that. They were the ones who really were in charge of getting me out there and they said to me in the very beginning, they said, we're investing in you. We're investing in you, and we believe in you. We have big plans for you, and we work together with the spirit world. You see, so I'm really here doing what they're helping me to do, and that's really, we always got to look at that we are just a part of that equation, and that on the physical part of that, which they're planning on using me a certain way. It has nothing to do with me, and I think that nowadays many mediums are involved with ego in that. Oh, I got to be on TV, or I got to be famous. I see that. To me, it's just, to me, it's sickening. It really is just like, don't get it. It's the wrong reason. It's the wrong reason. The reason is to help the humankind, to serve humankind, to awaken the consciousness, to bring up the consciousness. And that's really the intention behind it, which it should be. It should be pure. It has nothing to do with us. There's nothing to do with us on the ego level and getting wealthy and being well known. That's, my success came as a byproduct of work. I didn't go out and I didn't really want to write a book. I was pushed to write a book, and I did, but I always did it for the right reasons, and that's to educate, to enlighten, to make people aware. And when I was told that I was going to help change the consciousness of the planet 40 years ago, I didn't believe it. But now I look back, I have, or they have through me. So you always got to do things, even if it's not mediumship, whatever you do in your life, you always got to make sure that the intention behind it is pure, pure. And when I say pure, it's got to be from a sense of love. There's got to be a passion behind it of helping others, serving others. That's the only way, because we all got to rise up together. We can't just one person rise up and advance. We're all connected, so you all got to advance. We got to be sure it's for everybody on a larger scale, not just a one person scale. We do it for everybody, and that goes along with, of course, the golden rule: treat another person as you want to be treated. I always do that, and let me tell you, it feels really good. And never expect anything back. Do it with unrealistic. Don't do it with expectations to get something back. Just do it because that's the way it should be. Anyway, I'm spewing here. Okay. How did they know you were ready to hear from them? How did the spirit world know? I think this, Amy Wilson, I think the spirit world had plans. I think they knew they planned on using me. They planned on this happening. They planned this movement, spirituality in this time. And that's what the plan was, and I'm sure I agreed upon it before I came back into the incarnation. And I'm very happy in that I followed through with my path. I didn't know what the path was, but what I felt, the only thing I can say to you for everybody here is, you know what the right thing is for you if you feel it within yourself. If you go with your gut, that intuitive self. Because I knew I had a choice to make at the time, and it was, do I work at Paramount Studios, making a lot of money, have insurance and a management job and all that stuff, or do I work with the spirit world and bring through messages of love that I was able to do and feel that love and help someone with love, not knowing how I was going to get paid, not knowing at all. And I had to choose. And I knew that that feeling of love, that intuition felt right. Paramount thing felt okay, but it didn't feel full. But the psychic thing felt full. And and it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. It was irrational. It didn't make a bit of sense. Because you look at it, it's like, well, how can you survive on that? But that was my test, and the spirit world said, if you do work with us, we'll always take care of you. You will never be of need. It's 100%, always. And I don't live an extravagant life. I don't need to. I don't need to have nice things, great big things. And I don't. I have a nice life, but I could live in a small apartment or a big house. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I appreciate wherever I am, but they've always taken care of me, always. So it's interesting. So just go with that gut feeling. It's the best thing I can say to everybody, no matter what type of work you're involved in, because your soul is speaking to you. So you got to align yourself with your soul's voice. Your soul's voice is intuition. And people say, "Would you drop down here? God or the forces just drops here?" No, there's so many tools that we're given, and we just take the time to trust and to have faith and to go within ourselves and use them, and not measure ourselves to anybody else. You can never measure yourself up to anybody, and you can never live anybody else's life because you'll never be happy. You got to live your own life. It's only you'll be happy. Kristen, you're a very humble man. Well, thank you. I had humble beginnings. I lived in the Bowery in New York one time. I lived in a place when I was first starting out, 18, 19 years old, in East 4th Street, East 3rd Street, New York, Avenue A in East Side, which was called Needle Park because of heroin in those days. And I remember it was right next to the Bowery, which was the lower part of Manhattan in those days. And I was crawling over bodies in the curb. And I remember my apartment I shared with a Mormon guy. He went to college. I was going to college. And I met him on, I think it was in the Village Voice or something, an ad. And we had this tenement, I'd say apartment, where the floor was always crooked. And I had the bedroom, so I was paying like $50 more. And I remember the bedroom was a room, and there was a window with an air shaft there. That was it. And I remember the kitchen was nothing really. And I remember one day walking into the kitchen, and he slept in the living room. And it was funny now that I think about it, that guy. I wonder whatever happened to him. Pure Mormon from Utah, so who knows? And I remember one day I was going to the kitchen, and this big rat was crawling on the table. And I said to the rat, "You can have it. I'm leaving." I couldn't take it. So then I moved from there to Hell's Kitchen in mid Manhattan, which was really one step up, which was another tenement. And I just, as a kid, I mean, in my 20s, your low 20s, and I went for the joy of having my own apartment. So I had my own apartment, and it was 308 West 48th Street. 40, no, West 40, 308 West 41st Street. Right. No, West 39th. Sorry, West 39th Street. 308 West 39th Street is still there. And I remember I was in my apartment and it had a room for the bed, I guess. And then there was like a kitchen, but it was like a studio. And the bathtub was in the kitchen. And there was a bathroom at the end, like just a closet bathroom. And I remember out the window, just one window, one day I would see trash being thrown. I'm like, what's going on? People upstairs would throw their trash out the window to the empty lot below. Imagine. So that's where I started. That's where my first apartment was. So then years later, this is a good one. So notice in your life how things come back in circles. So years later, and I was in California. This is only about 6, 7 years ago. And I went back to Manhattan, and I looked up my old place I lived at in West 39th Street, and I looked over there, and it was still there. I was shocked it was still, the apartment was still there. And I remembered, I thought, wait, remember Ancestry.com? I did Ancestry.com. And I remember my grandfather, who I never met. He used to be a stagehand, and he actually set up the Winter Garden Theater in Manhattan. And I remember from reading that Ancestry.com where they did the census, and he was, it was really weird. He was 41 West 39th Street. He actually lives across the street from me. So I'm sure he was looking out for me and found that apartment for me. Isn't that? Now, what are the odds of that? So, what are the odds? So, you know, the spirit world is always around us, pulling strings. We never know the man behind the curtain, but they are behind the curtain pulling things. So, you're never alone, and they're always there for your. The spirit world comes in for always your highest good, always your highest good. Not unless you're a nasty, bad person, and you have some, you attract bad things to you. Okay, from Vermont. Hi from London. Hello, London. How is London doing? I heard you closed all down in London. I heard it's completely shut down. James, you're a big Pam Williamson. You're a big draw in Lilydale, New York. What do you feel when you are there? Lilydale. Um, I love Lilydale. Lilydale's a great place. Unfortunately, I think the mediumship there is not to par. I think it's really not to par. And I don't think there are people there that are in a position to bring it up to par because they don't, it's all politics. And it's a shame. It's a shame because it's just at the best mediocre. And I don't think they're willing to change. And that's sad because Lilydale is really the place in America for mediumship, and where it all started, the Fox sisters. It's a shame, but what can I say? I was at Lilydale, and last time I was there, the mediums were just generally psychic questions they were asking people, and not even giving good evidence. So yeah, mediocre. Always, when you're a medium, you're always going to aspire to be better every day. The messages should be always different and better. I try every time I do a reading for someone, I ask the spirit world beforehand, give me something new, give me some new information that I wouldn't know about. Try and stretch the mind a different way. That's the way it always should be. Okay. Hello from Arizona. Hello there. Hello, Linda Jones. Hello. Is it Davi Imbordino? What? I love that name, Davi. I am Bordino. Wow, I love that what kind of name that is. Hi from Cleveland. How do you find your purpose from Emma? Emma. Emma, well, I think it goes in with your passion. I think your purpose is your passion too. So, what are you passionate about? And if you can see yourself in 5 years, what would you want to do? And then you got to let yourself have goals and draw goals up to go to do that. What is your passion? What fills your soul up? What makes you sing? What makes you feel great? That's what you should do. But I also want to say, don't waste your time because thinking about it, just start doing it. Start finding your passion, finding ways to get that done. So an easy exercise: write down 5 items, the things you love to do that you're passionate about, that you like to maybe do in a career, and then after each item, write a line, and that line is how you're going to the step you need to get to follow that passion. There might be another line you need to take to make that happen. So it's kind of a mapping out to find that to get to that purpose, to get to that passion. So do it that way. And then out of the 5, you'll see which one you feel works really number one for you, what feels right to you. That's how you do it. And you got to find it for yourself. Nobody can tell you about it. You got to find your own passion and your passion, your purpose. I hope that makes sense. COVID-19. I said earlier, maybe May. Lotto Swanson. Hi, James. I'm just now painting. It's my own meditation. Oh, I love painting. It is. I think painting is great for your soul. I think creative energy, no matter how you use that creative force, that is the life force. So some people use it in writing, some people use it in painting, some people photography, some people do banking, some people do cooking, however you use that creative force. Some people use it with fixing computers or working in IT, and it's just a creative force that you're using to manifest, and that's good. Again, anything that makes your heart sing. I really think I want to just push that because as days get shorter now, because we just changed the clock back in the U.S. It really emphasizes the point that life is short. Life is very, very short, and you got to make the most of the moments that you have. You can't waste time. You don't want to end up on the other side of life when you pass over and look back and say, "I wasted so much time." So do it today. If you haven't started yet, do something that you're passionate about, or start the map process of how you're going to get there, and don't let others hold you back. That's an illusion. Really, it'll trip you up. If you really want the love and the okay from someone's approval from somebody else, you're never going to get it. So don't let that hold you back. Okay. Boise in the house. I love Boise. But Tracy, do we always? So we always choose our purpose. Sometimes you do. Yes. Many people find out that they're not living their purpose, not living their true life, because they're trying to please somebody else, and they get in their midlife in 30s or 40s, like, I'm not happy. Well, because you're living somebody else's life, not your life. So sometimes it's hard, and some people don't want to go through that. Some people don't want to go through difficult times, or they want things easier, so they'll stay at Paramount Studios. They won't jump in to do readings like I did. You have to know what's right for you. Even if it doesn't make sense rationally sometimes, you got to do what your soul says, because the soul cannot be realistic in this time frame of linear time. It's outside of linear time. So it might not make sense, but if you do what your heart wants you to, it makes your heart sing, the rest will follow. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I truly believe that. I never ever thought I'd write a book. I never thought it was possible to write a book, and now I've had 14 books out. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. I always remember that. God says yes. Our egos say no. So the universe really comes together, really to help you to produce, to help you be creative. They come together to really help you to be the best you can. But the ego, the human part, gets in the way sometimes. So because you're on this soul care site now, I want you to really consider changing things in your life to make your heart sing, to make your soul sing. And what other people think of you is none of your business. Okay. Okay. So here's a way. Hold on one second. I just saw this question here. Thank you for giving me the time to go through this. So here's a good Kathleen Krause. Will I keep my job? Kathleen, what would you want to keep your job? What do you think? What do you feel? Are you doing your job that you really love to do, or are you just doing it to make money? You got to figure that one out. Hello, Monique from Australia. Oh, thanks, Ida. She loves the vibes. Yes, Jane, somebody with Doreen Virtue. Yes. Judy Clee wants to know about those living worrying about the ones that are gone. Why would you worry about them? Worry is not a good emotion to have, because it doesn't do anything but blocks energy and compacts things. Brings things together. You want to open up. They're fine. They're alive. We're the ones that have to realize that they're okay. We got to realize that they're still alive. They're on their journey, just in a different room. That's all it is. I'm trying to answer the Reiki. Gosh. Hello. How many times does a person live? How many lives does a person live? How many as they want, Denise. So there's not a limited amount. There's no death. So you can live life, and you can live several lives right now at this time. As you're speaking to me, you can be in several places at once. So you can be living in the past, present. You can be in different solar systems and universes. So it's all different. We can't look at it as linear. How do I get a private session? I don't do private sessions, but I have people on my vanprog.com, as you can see the address there. And on the resources page, there are mediums there, and student mediums also, who are excellent, who I have to do private readings. So all of them can do private readings, and they would not be posted on my site if they weren't good at what they do. So they are there, and they have my blessing to be there, my approval. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing psychic readings this Friday night. That's when I'll be doing psychic readings. I'm not doing them now, but this Friday. Patty Campbell, that's a good, interesting question. When we cross over, who decides on the other side who will be there to greet us? Patty, it's interesting, but the ones that we loved, that bond of love that we've created in the lifetime, those are the ones that will come to get us. This is an affinity of love. And also, I found that there are many people that will come to see us who appreciate, want to thank us. So my friend Olivia passed over, and she said, it was the strangest thing. I remember all these people, I didn't know them. She was, but then they showed me how I knew them on the earth. And I opened up a door once to them. I smiled. They made a good comment. She was, even those people didn't realize how I changed their life in the smallest of ways came to greet me. So all them people who you shared love with. So psychic readings this Friday. Change is so hard waiting on a contract for well, we don't want to be torn. Oh, there it is. Under my name there. See, there you go. Under my name is the Oh, hold on, my doggy wants to come in. She just said, let me open the door. Come on. Come on, Macy. Come on, Baba. Come on. Come on, Baba. Oh, you were waiting outside. Oh, were you sleeping? Were you sleeping? Come on. Come on, Mom. Good to see you, baby girl. Oh. That's just talking to peoples. That's just talking to peoples. My little girl wanted to come in. Hi, Mom. And Maisie May. You want to see Maisie? Come here, Mom. Oh. Oh. There she is. That's Maisie May. Say hi to everybody. She was sleeping. You're sleeping, girl. You're sleeping, girl. What's your sleeping, girl? Oh, my goodness, what a life you have. Oh, she's just a love bucket. She's just a love bucket. That's my daughter. We're done now. Okay. Oh, baby. Ah! She does yoga with me. She does Pilates with me. That's Maisie May. I brought her to the vet and they said, she's 11 years old, but she's like a puppy. I said, I know, because we act like children. We're both children. Love, love, love. Thank you. Thank you. She is beautiful. She's adorable. She's like a baby girl. Yeah, they teach us wonderful love, unconditional love and healing. It's amazing. I love animals. We're going to do an animal course next year. We did 3 days this past year. This year we did 3 nights of it, and it was very successful, and everybody loved it. So we're going to do an actual course, a full-time course next year in the school, the JP School, Miss Lawrence. So make sure, if anybody, also make sure your email, if you haven't yet, put your email at vanprog.com. You can do that, and register your email so I can send you all the information of when certain courses are, when certain events are going to happen. I'm going to be changing up events a little bit next year, so there'll be more involvement with you guys and change it up a little bit because I want to change it up. I want to be more active with people with socially. So make sure that you find your email and you can always take it off. So if you can always unsubscribe. I don't send a lot of emails out because I can't stand getting a lot of emails from like Wayfair or Target or my God, you buy one thing and next thing you get 3 emails that week. Like enough, right? So I don't use it. So trust me. So if you want to, it's the best way to find out. How do spirits, this is from Susan Blackman, how do spirits with different languages communicate? It's not done through physical ways, it's done through thought. So it doesn't matter what language they spoke because it's all thought. So they can mentally send me a thought and visually send me a vision, and that's how they communicate. So I work all over the world, in Japan and Germany, and it's all done through thoughts. Laurie Winkleman, is it possible? Thank you. Is it possible for somebody to have a foot here on the earth, but also on the other side? Yes, that is true. Alzheimer's, dementia, I found that out that they go in and out, and they can be in different levels of awareness, different levels of consciousness. Remember, the other side is just a different level of consciousness. So it's right around us. It's the analogy I always say is it's right here, but it's such a high speed vibration you can't see it. And the analogy I use is a ceiling fan. When you slow the ceiling fan down, you can see the individual blades. But if you speed it up, you can't see the individual blades. The same thing the other side. Because this is such a fast vibration, we don't see it physically because it's outside the physical spectrum. But when you slow it down, then you start seeing it or feeling it or hearing it. Like a medium, like myself, I'll be able to, once I slow it down a little bit, I raise my vibration, my speed, and I can hear in the middle. Being medium, it means in the middle, I'll be able to receive their information. Not easily, not like, hello. I was watching Oprah the day. I was on Oprah, and it's on YouTube, and I was watching her talk to me. This is years ago when I had dark hair and a mustache. And she said, "Why can't they just say their name? And now, hi, I'm Joe Blow from." Blow. I said, "Well, because it's a communication. It's not physical communication, and it's at a higher frequency of vibration." It's just looking like, huh? But now, of course, I think she understand what I'm talking about. In those days, she wouldn't. But that was, yeah, that was the first time a medium has been on Oprah too. The first medium on Oprah. How do we know we receive a message from source or if I'm just making up my own head? Well, then that comes with development, and that comes learning how to quiet the mind and getting in touch with your soul self and learning what that feels like and learning what the feeling, what the subtle messages are that you're receiving and not being in your head. So the hardest part of mediumship is discernment between your own ego self getting stuff, but that coming from outside you. That's one of the hardest parts of mediumship is that discernment, because that human ego always wants to be there, but you got to kind of surrender that so you can be able to hear them. So I also have said my first before my analogy about it's so subtle. It's like a feather falling from the air, and if you want to be able to let that feather land on your palm, you just hold it out, and it'll more than likely land on them. But if you go chasing for that feather, it's going to send it away. Same thing in mediumship. The more you try, the harder you try, the less it is able to be successful. So it's a very subtle type of thing. And the more you do it, the more you become aware of what the energy feels like with mediumship. Then you know the difference. Is it possible to connect the insects? Because I swear I connected this. Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, they're life, right? Insects are life, and I connect with them. I try to connect with that life force in them. I try to. I do. I try to. I don't know if it's happening, but I certainly am aware of them. I don't kill anything in my house, and yeah, it's a whole different universe. Shannon, I'm sorry about your loss, Shannon. My mom passed away before. Mom's very aware. People that pass away are very, very aware of our progress, and they help us with progress, and they're very proud of us. Usually, they'll come through and say how proud they are. So I'm sure she's watching. She's watching you, and she's aware of your progress. So just know that. Teresa, am I ever coming to the UK again? Hopefully, when this whole COVID thing is over, I'll be going to the UK. I've been invited there several times to do this workshop. So yes, as soon as I'm able to travel. Alexandra, I am psychic and I receive messages in other languages, which I will say to my client, which I have done in Native American Vietnamese. It'd be nice if I knew what I was saying to client thrilled. Only happened 2 times in my career. That's good, Alex. I do a little more development as well, Alex. That's what I think you need there. Hello from Germany. Hello, I love Germany, my favorite place. You're doing fine, Sid. Don't worry, your English is fine. This is from Debbie Moore. Please, James, is there a correlation between psychobilly and schizophrenia? It's a good question. I don't know. I would like to say yes, or yes, there is, but I don't know, so I can't say. I do not know. I think in days past, when there were mental patients and schizophrenic, as we were said to be schizophrenic, and they were put in psychiatric wards, I would think some of them were mediums, without a doubt. But the actual, is there a connection, a correlation between them? I don't know. Of course, Marlene, of course, husband's around you. Why wouldn't he be around you? Yes. So this Friday, once again, is psychic readings at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested in intuition and intuitive readings about finding a job, right here, that's a place to do it on this Friday. There, right there on the screen is the connection. If you want to link that in. Nina Johnson, if you're ready to connect with the spirit world, how do you close the door and turn off the light? By you learning how to develop properly. So to learn how to open up and close down properly, and how to run your energy, and how to be aware of the spaces all around you, and the spaces and places all around you. And that comes with developing. My mediumship 1 in the school, I teach all the fundamentals of mediumship, and it's an important part. The fundamentals are the most important part of mediumship. Do you believe that? Because you do not want to develop the wrong way, and you want to have a strong foundation, because it can affect you physically if you don't develop correctly, have a strong foundation. It can affect your endocrine system, and it can be taxing. And if you don't do it the right way, it can be exhausting, and it can end up it could end up being imbalance and dis-ease. And I've seen it happen when people just jump into it without even taking consideration of the right foundation and how to develop properly. It's not a game. It's not a game. It's something that has to be done properly done. You don't jump into any other career, just jump in and do it. You have to learn the basics. You got to go through schooling. And with mediumship, you have to go through schooling. It's not something which you can just jump into. You have to be sporadic psychic information, but to really develop as a medium, to the full sense of the messages and being that connection to spirit and being used as a vessel, you've got to do it in the proper way. Because the proper way, that the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it, and your messages will be much fuller and more. You'll really be successful as far as how you present the message and the fullness of that message. It won't be just little bits and pieces of things. It'll be a fullness of that message, a fullness of the personality, and that's what you want as a medium. It's not something to be rushed through, not at all. Um, and I love Tyler Henry for getting the word out and have a TV show. But the only wrong part about that is he's too young to be fully developed yet. I really do believe that. I think he's just starting. And to portray them on television to me is not the right thing to do. And it's not his fault. I don't think he knew any better. I think it's the producer's fault. But then again, they don't know any better. So it's to educate people. And yeah, that's a lot. I mean, on some level, it's great. I mean, I used to be upset with this, well, with CBS and the Ghost Whisperer because they put negative things and fearful things, and I was angry once. I said, the spirit world, my guide's there, and I said, why are you doing this? Why would this negative stuff be put on television? And they said, James, you have to stand the bigger picture. The bigger picture is people are going to ask, is there life after death after they watch this television show, which is exactly what happened. So yeah, so there's a bigger picture. So in shows like that, the bigger picture is at least the subject matter is getting out there. I'm just a stickler for details as far as development and the integrity level of it and the health of mediums and the reason behind why they want to be mediums. What's the reason? What's the intention behind? Yeah. Do demons exist? Well, I don't believe in demons. I've seen some in the living world, the physical world, that seem like demons to me. I'm more afraid of the living than of the dead. I really am. And even the world around us right now, that's more fearful than anything, the spirit world that I've seen. I think the devil and all that is created by humans, humans, and fed. And fear, it's a shame, but fear is, and love is all there is. Fear is taught, and fear is pushed. No reason. I watch a lot about this whole thing about white supremacy and Black Lives Matter and this and that. I think, my God, we're all the same. It's amazing. I mean, we're all the same. We're all the same, and we speak different languages. We have different skin color. Doesn't matter. We're all the same. We just have these different skin tones or different places in the world because we have to learn various lessons. But we're all the same blood. We're all the same essence. We're all the life force. So, talk a different language. It doesn't matter. No one's better than anybody else. It's just crazy. So judgment is fear-based. So it's a FEAR, false ego, appearing real. So treat everyone with love because they're you. You are part of them. And we're all connected to each other. So by hurting somebody else, you're hurting yourself. I don't know why I'm just saying these things, but they just pop in. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because I watched this. I was watching YouTube this weekend, and I was watching all these things about people with crime that hateful, and I was just, this is just terrible. We got to change this around. We are of the light. We all are of the light. You think you saw S. Love is, yes, love is all there is. Fear is taught. That's exactly right. So true. All like a different rose by any other name. Connie Fugel says that. So true. All like, all different. A rose by any other name. My grandmother used to say it to me when I was a little boy. A rose by any other name still smells sweet. So thank you for bringing that in. That's right, Fatima. Always feel love as well the same way. Oh, don't you like making someone else feel good? I love that. I remember that from a little boy at nursery school, and someone would give me a drawing of something, color drawing. I'd say, "Oh, that's so nice. I love that." And it felt good. It feels good. It feels good to help somebody else. And somebody have crayons. I gave my crayons, and they were able to complete the drawing. And I was like, "Oh, that feels great." And they made a great drawing. We got to give someone else the crayons. We got to be willing to give people crayons, man. Come on, help each other out. We're in it all together, right? Christy, how do we know if we are gifted? Oh, well, by trying it out, Christy. By trying out different ways, sitting in meditation, feeling things, sensing things, getting out of your head and into your heart, taking intuitive classes, courses, reading about it. It's stuff for your souls. It's your soul's work. Hello, Sharon Hollingsworth. Jessica Dixon. If someone is who is hateful on earth, continue to be hateful in spirit, well, if that's all they know, that's a sad thing. But I think there's an expansion of awareness when we pass over. The mindset is very similar, but I think when that person is ready to open up and receive that higher awareness, they will. But it's just like here on the earth, there's some people that are not open to change, that they're living in a limited mindset and they're not willing to change. Some people think this is the only way it should be, and that's wrong, but they have to be willing to change. But people open up at different times in different ways. The belief system is not a certain belief system here on the earth. When they pass over, that belief system doesn't change. So there's still that belief system. So let's say people are born again Christian here, they'll be born again and they believe that's all there is On the other side, they'll be that way. They'll go to a community. It's like attracts like. They'll be the same type of people. Just like, let's say, skeptics. When they pass over, they're going to be with a bunch of skeptics. And it's like, we knew there was no life after death. They're all going to be alive. And I think, oh, sure, sure, sure. It's weird, but it is what it is. Um, that's why I think you have to see the bigger picture that we're part of everything, all of it. No, nothing is better than anything else. Now, there might be a belief system that you feel connected with because of maybe past life experiences, that you like Buddhism because maybe you've had those experiences there, or Islam because you've experiences there, or whatever it might be. So let's just go from soul experiences. But we always got to be willing and choosing to expand our soul's awareness and our mindsets and opening up to different experiences. That's how we learn. And we learn from each other. Again, nothing by accident. We learn from each other. Every day is divine, and it's a divine attunement to who we are and to each other. So we got to look at it that way, and look at the bigger picture and look at the spiritual aspects, not the human, because you're a soul first and foremost. Like you're a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. So the more you can live every day as you're a soul self, living a soul mind, then the better it is. Now things happen on a human level, of course, and we go fall back into that human stuff of judgment and what's important, what's not. But that's just it's an illusion. It's a trap that we go back to. So, I always say it is what it is, and that's all that it is. It is what it is. Just observe it. It is what it is. And why people do certain things, that's their thing. That might not be my thing, but that's their thing. So, yeah, whatever. It's right for them, it's right for them, but not necessarily right for me. Not, I don't want to judge it because I don't know what goes into that with certain people. Who knows? But if it's not right for me, it doesn't feel right for me. It's not feeling right for me. That's fine. I don't have to accept it. I can see it. That's fine. I don't have to hate it or judge it. It's right for them, not right for me. But don't judge it. Just many times we don't understand. People judge things they don't understand, and that they judge it. They want to be in control, so they judge it. So it's really about control. Here I go. I'm going off again with my tangents. Jen, this is a great one. Jen, Intuit. Will my babies be gifted like me? Jen, well, you're an Intuit, Jen. What do you think? Hello. Again, psychic questions this Friday night, Friday, 4 o'clock, to a whole 2 hours of psychic questions. Tam Wilkinson. If someone is holding a grudge against you, is it possible to get through to them? Well, you know what? You're in charge of your own energy field, your fields around you, and you have to control and be responsible for what energies is around you. So if someone is around you sending negative energy to you, you clear it out of your space, and you do that with thoughts. That's how you do that. Betty Campbell, parents who are stuck in grief over their adult son who passed 4 years ago, are they harming him in any way by being stuck in their grief? Well, Patty, let me put it this way. The only way I can tell you this is they're not hurt anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Patty. I'm sure it's you who you're talking about. Um, I think that you have to go through grief. It's part of the human emotion. You'll have to learn from it. And I think we chose before we came back to the incarnation that one would go that way, a child would go that way. But I guess can tell you what I've heard. So let's say the child lived for an adult. Let's say lived for 35 years. I've had this experience when a spirit's come through and they said, Mom and Dad, I lived 35 years. And I said, yes. And 34 great years, right? Fun things, great years. For 34 wonderful. The last year that passed, and the son said to them, I lived 34 great years. Why is it the last year of my life that's all you think about? It's all you think about is my death, but you forget all about the 34 years before. That's what they want you to think about, the positive things, not that they're gone, but all those 34 years, because it's disrespectful in a way, isn't it? So it doesn't hold them back, but it holds us back. We got to think of them as happy, and that those 34 years really matter to something. And I mean, when you die, you want something to think about the last day of your life. You want to think all the things you did in your life. Just something to think about. It's not easy. So a lot of people want to know, is spirit all right? They're all right. They don't just fathom and they just wither and just disappear. They're in a world which is their home, and they go back and they're very aware, very alive, and you'll see them again when you go over. And just don't think of them as a figment of your imagination. They're very real, and you can hear from them if you open your eyes and open your mind. Close your eyes and open your mind and listen and hear from them. And you can, so we'll do a surrender this Friday. We'll do a surrender exercise too. We'll try that too. But yes, they're around all the time, but we don't give them the time to listen. We just want them to show up, and we don't do anything about it. We quiet our minds, slow down our breath, quiet ourselves for 10 minutes, sit in the quiet, and then let them come in and ask a question. But then we can hear from them. But how much time do you give them to get to you? How much time do you give yourself to listen to them? Not much. I want to hear you now. They can't, it's not like that. So it's a process. So you have to give yourself the time to sit quietly for at least 5 to 10 minutes and really work with the breath, closing down the ego self of you, surrendering, having them come close to you and ask them to kind of stand behind you. And what would they say? And that's a good way of just practicing. Hello, what does it mean? This is from Myra Crosby. What does it mean when spirits recites the Lord's Prayer backwards in your dreams? That's very interesting. I've never heard that, Myra. I don't know, Myra. I don't know what that means. I have no idea, but that's pretty interesting one. I've never heard that before in 40 years. Wow. Okay, with the okay. Can you all hear me? Is it true? Yes, I think so. Thank you for explaining. You're very welcome. Can you explain why some people get clear signs in the past, though, while others who love it just as much do not? I lost my daughter. She sends me frequently, but it depends. Remember that people get signs all the time, but sometimes the people that receiving are not open-minded. They're not open-minded. They very want to control it, so the spirit can't get through as much. There is worry around them. They can't get through that. They can't get through the worry. So it depends on that. How much you're willing to give them, free up your mind so they can come through. Hi, Marianne. All Souls Day. Yes, that's right. It's All Souls Day today, isn't it? That's right. Okay. Oh my. Okay. That's interesting. Lord's Prayer backwards. Yeah, questioning beliefs. That's true. It could be questioning your beliefs. Lord's Prayer backwards. That's very true. That's very, very true. Thanks, Kelly. Laurie Smith. Yes. Now. So this Friday, I'm going to. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. I'm going to Friday night, so I'll see you here at Psychic Readings, and that's it for today. But please put your emails on my website and enjoy the Facebook pages and my school. And hopefully, I'll see you all on Friday, and we'll do some psychic work. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all.